It's happening! Emily in Paris Season 3 is coming, and we're breaking down everything we know about it. Stay tuned until the end so you don't miss a thing. Let's get right into all we know about the series as well as our expectations. First things first, let's recap where it all started with Season 1-2. The show began with Emily Cooper scoring big and obtaining the job of her dream in Paris. Cooper was handpicked to represent a marketing company abroad. In the beginning, Emily aimed to keep her relationship with her boyfriend back in Chicago, but the distance became too much and they broke things off. It wasn't long before she started to get acclimated and even make a few new friends. She quickly got close to Camille, Mindy, and an extremely handsome chef named Gabriel. It took no time at all for Emily to fall for Gabriel, and the two hooked up right before he was supposed to move to Normandy for a new restaurant. The two's feelings for each other were so strong, Gabriel stayed and went on to open his very own restaurant. Camille was an ex of Gabriel's, and the two had been on and off for a while. Emily decided to choose her friendship with Camille over Gabriel. The season wrapped up with Camille reaching out to Emily about Gabriel. Emily became worried Camille would find out about her and Gabriel, which she soon did in Season 2. In the second season, Emily is more familiar with life in Paris, but she's still having a hard time in her personal life with friends and lovers. In her French class, she ends up meeting a man who makes her mad, but is also oddly intriguing. Sylvie made the move and opened up an agency of her own, and extended an invitation to Emily. Her decision would be the result of a terrible love triangle. Even though Emily began dating Alfie, he was going to London, but hoped to do long distance. Emily, however, still had feelings for Gabriel. That never went away, and in the finale, she ends up at his house to tell him. Upon arriving, she found out that Camille and Gabriel had gotten back together and burst into tears. The finale wrapped up with Emily telling Sylvie she had made a decision. So what happens next? Next up, when can we expect the new season to come, and what do we know? The release date for Season 3 has yet to be confirmed. We do know the third season was announced back in January, when Netflix gave the exciting news that the series would be renewed for Season 3 and 4. Lily Collins was quick to celebrate the news with an Insta post, thanking all the fans for their support and love. We understand that production for the new season began in June this year, and Netflix posted a picture of the new season's table read. Being there's no release date, many are predicting we won't get the new season until early next year. The season will more than likely air in early 2023. Filming for the third season is most likely wrapping up soon, and then the production team will only have to worry about putting on the finishing touches. This also raises the question of will the third and fourth season be filmed back-to-back? If this is the case, we could Season 3 come out in early 2023, and possibly see the fourth season air later on in the year. Unfortunately, we know how notorious Netflix is for making fans wait years for their favorite shows to come out. What we do know, however, is that Season 3 won't waste time and get straight to the point. The season will pick up with Emily making a hard decision about her job, and why she'll choose what she chooses. The show's creator told sources that's what Season 3 is going to be about. When you live in a foreign country, one of the questions is, where's your heart? Is it the place you came from, or the place you are at the moment? Emily is going to be struggling with that as well. Her big decision hangs in the balance. Next up, we learned this NFL star almost had a cameo in the series. Peyton Manning has not stopped loving Emily in Paris, even when his potential cameo didn't happen. He was supposed to make an appearance in the coming season, but it didn't happen. Manning told sources he was crushed that things fell through. Peyton visited Paris in anticipation for his cameo, and it was their first time going. Unfortunately, they found out the filming location was 400 miles out. Him and his wife planned their vacation together, and Manning didn't want to travel further from where they were. It would have been a nice cameo, but hey, at least the big guy loves the show. Matter of fact, when Peyton starred in SNL in January, he was a part of a skit where he was wearing Emily's signature red beret, and claimed he had been watching Emily in Paris instead of the NFL playoffs. His love for the show actually came after his SNL skit, and he gave the show a try. Just to prove there's no hard feeling, Peyton insisted on bringing out Emily to his podcast with his brother Eli. July, called Manning Cast. We're thrilled to know an MVP like Peyton loves the show as much as we do. Most importantly, it's so refreshing to see the love he continues to give the show despite his cameo not working out. Hey, who knows, maybe we'll see Manning make an appearance in the future, or even if it's to promote one of the coming seasons. Only time will tell, but fans can dream, right? Next up, let's discuss some of the filming locations you can visit. The series was buzzing when it came out in early 2020, and viewers fell in love with all aspects of the show, from the fashion and luxurious lifestyle to the breathtaking scenery. What fans loved above all were the filming locations. You can visit each and every spot, whether it's her apartment in the show or the garden where she meets Mindy. We'll tell you all the spots. If you're wanting to feel like you're stepping into the show, you'll have to stop by these places. If you're wanting to see Emily's apartment, you'll need to head to the Place de l'Estrapade, 5th Arrondissement, which is an older yet beautiful building in a historic quarter. Emily's work office is right by the Louvre Museum. Place de Valois is located right by a lavish art gallery that has furniture and art from the 20th century. The area the building is located in was named after the last king during the 19th century, Louis Philippe I. There are numerous fancy restaurants and cafes all within the square. The scene where Emily meets up with Mindy takes place at Jardin du Palais Royal. The gorgeous outdoor area was built by Cardinal Richelieu in 1633. Louis XIV had lived there during the 1640s. The pathways throughout are lined with flowers and fountains. In an episode where Savoir shoots a perfume ad, they're doing so on the historical Pont Alexandre III. The bridge runs over the Seine River and was built between 1896 and 1900. In 1975, it was labeled as a historic landmark and is recognizable based on the gold statues, lamps, and golden highlights. During an episode where Emily and a few friends get drunk and stumble upon Rue de l'Abreuvoir, it's one of the most beautiful filming locations throughout season 1. When your eyes are met with that view, you understand why. Next up, let's see what Victoria Zito says about the comparisons in the show. If the character Lily Collins played was real, we're sure she'd land a spot on Real Girlfriends in Paris. This is what many fans felt when they watched Bravo's new trailer. The reality TV show will follow the lives of 6 Americans working while looking for love in the city. Victoria weighed in on how accurate the show is in comparison. She told E! News it's really hard not to make the comparison on the two, especially with how famous and how successful Emily in Paris was. But our show gives a more raw and authentic perspective of what life is actually like there. She admitted that although there are similarities, but there's some clear differences. Essentially, the reality show is a truer version of what life there is really like. Zito went on to sources about growing up in Texas where it's mostly conservatives, and wasn't sure she would even be allowed to have a job in fashion. She began gushing to press saying she's living her dream job and is excited to see what's in store for her next. When it came time for her to move there, she settled in right away and found comfort in the historical area. She said, "I think everyone finds something different in Paris, but when I speak for myself, the fashion aspect of it, it's where all the greats were." So stay tuned, fans of Emily in Paris, because we're getting the real-life version on Bravo soon. There you have it, all the latest and greatest news we have about the new season to come. So what was your favorite part? What are your predictions on the new season? And what decision do you think Emily will make? Let us know down below.